Was talking to one of my clients last evening and they asked me, you seem to do so much. How do you manage it all? What's the key? And the short answer is this: I use a Google Calendar. Everything that I do is in that Google Calendar. I attach it to my phone, as in I link them, is what I meant to say. So I get notifications on my phone. If I'm at the park with the dogs, I get back into the car, I've got a notification that I have a client in 30 minutes, or I've got to do something in 30 minutes, or whatever I actually set the notifications to. But, my calendar's on this other screen. And when I look at it, I think, how on earth do I do all that? Well, it's interesting. At my age, what I am capable of doing, I surprised myself. Last Monday, I did a 15-hour day. I started at 6:30 in the morning and I finished at 8:15, I think it was, that night. Yes, I had 30 minutes in the middle of the day where I took the dogs to the park, but never ceases to amaze me if I put everything in that calendar, how much I can do and how accountable it makes me to my business. Now, the biggest thing that keeps me producing so much, because I do in a week, I'm happy to say that. Some might say I work a bit much, but the fundamental, the foundation here for me is I'm passionate. I have a very strong soul purpose why I am here. What am I on the planet for? It gives me great direction. It gives me enormous focus. And what I can do in a day is quite phenomenal. I can walk the dogs. I can walk myself. I like in the morning, early morning, like this morning, it was a little bit foggy, went for a walk and it was warm, just in a t-shirt, runners, easy, just walking along. When I come back, the sun's just on my face. It's a beautiful feeling, talk to my plants, water my plants, do all those kind of things because I want them to keep growing. I've got veggies growing. I've got beautiful flowers. Then I can come into my office. Of course, I feed my dogs because they nudge me until I do. And we have a bit of a play with the ball sometimes. Then I come in here. I look at my calendar. Yep, pretty much know what I'm doing for the day. And I set to and get going. And, I just move from one thing to another. And every now and again I get up, might make a coffee, and then at some time in the afternoon, and I usually put it in, take the dogs to the park so they can run. I can have some more sunshine. Got to keep that vitamin D3 up. And the best way to get it is through the sun. So get out into the sun. And, in the weekends, on a Sunday, I spend some time in my office just looking at my calendar for the week. What is it that I actually have to do? And if I need to do any preliminary stuff, I do it then. But I don't spend a lot of time on it. I have an allocation, look at an hour at the most. Sometimes I don't do that. And I've been more vigilant the last 3-4 months about not spending any time on Sunday in my office, just because I have other things I want to do. And the thing that really inspires me to take a bit of time out is that more time out that I take, I meant to say, is that I have a way lot more to bring back to the mixing bowl. Now, what I mean by the mixing bowl is when I'm working with clients or I'm working with my groups, I have a couple of those. If you imagine a big mixing bowl and we're all contributing in, and say the session goes for an hour, at the end of that session, each person, whether it's a one-on-one or it's a group session, they take from that mixing bowl what they want to leave with and to work with that week. The good thing about the mixing bowl is that there's so many different things in there for people, and there's enough for everyone. And the other good thing is that what they don't want can be left behind. So we don't clutter our minds with things, particularly important with groups. especially some of my long-term groups, we have people at different stages in their business, and you always have to start where you're at and go from there. You know, so all of these things that I'm telling you about are how I spend my weeks, my days. Usually my days start early. I'm one of those people that like to work at that end of the day, if you like. And it's amazing, just in the quietness of the morning, once I've had my walk, just how much I can jam pack in. I can do videos, I can go on social media if I want to, or I can just sit quietly and do some of my writing, which I absolutely love. Another deep passion. My first passion and my first love is working with my clients. My second love is my writing. Somewhere in there are my dogs and my garden and getting out in nature. And sometimes the priorities move around a little bit. And I think that's actually the biggest tip. Be prepared to move around your priorities. And, you know, I've done this little video today because that one question struck me last night from my client. How do you manage to do so much? Well, I hope that has given you some insight, but it's all, as I said, the foundation is my sole purpose. I know where I'm heading. I know where I want to be, and I know where I'm going, and I know what's required. Consistency, persistencies, persistence and consistency. I think that's what I was trying to say. I crack myself up sometimes when I'm doing these videos. So what I'd like to know is, firstly, have you subscribed so I know that you're listening? And secondly, I really know you're listening, and whether these messages actually make sense, are helpful, by you putting something in the comments, because you make a difference to my life by the comments or anything at all. Questions, if you want to book a call with me, first call is always on me, and I guarantee that you'll get some solutions. You'd be surprised how many solutions I've got tucked away. And one of the great skills that I seem to have is that I work very well off the cuff, which means that I come up with some really cool ideas in the moment. So if that's something of interest to you, you can book a call. If you're challenged with how to manage your time, then definitely book a call with me. Definitely subscribe. Definitely make some comments. Have a beautiful day, everyone. And thank you so much for being part of my world, my life. You make a difference. Bye-bye.